What are your economic development priorities, and how will they address the needs for all of your constituents in either Madison or Dane County, paying particular attention to those with lower education and skill levels and those currently underrepresented in the workforce for living wage jobs? Mayor Slips.
Right. Well, this is, I think, the centerpiece of what we need to do over the course of the next 4 years, to show that progressive policies also produce a very healthy economy. We know that already. Madison has a 4.4% unemployment rate. Still too high for Madison for sure, but much better than just about any place else in the country. And if all of these progressive policies that Governor Walker is trying to propose were actually going to be successful, it seems to me that that shouldn't be the case. If he believes that investments in a high quality of life and high public services, if he believes that you need to destroy collective bargaining in order to create prosperity, if that's true, then none of that, then we shouldn't have a 4.4% unemployment rate in the city of Madison. We proved that progressive policies work. And over the course of the next 4 years, we need to make that case even stronger. Just today, we reopened our contracts with ASME and other unions, and I'm pleased to have the support of those unions. And we negotiated, on their own initiative, $5.3 million in savings for next year to help us get through that budget. That's cooperation between a union and management. That's what actually works. And it seems to me that these attacks on the public sector, whether it's attacks on the university, or attacks on public education, or attacks on high-quality public services, these are attacks on economic development. Because if you don't have a strong public education system, if you don't have a strong higher education system, if you don't have strong public services, you don't have the quality of life that goes with it, then the very foundation of everything else that can happen crumbles. And we're going to make that crumble.
Thank you, Mayor Clements. Former Mayor Sogman.
Thank you. I care about this city very deeply, and that's why I get a little distressed myself when we don't get an accurate picture of our community and what is going on here. Madison has got the 14th lowest unemployment in the United States. We're about half the national average. When I left office, we were, depending on what month it was, in April, we were the 3rd lowest in the country. In January, we were the lowest in the country. We were running between 1.7 and 2% when the national average was about 5%. Something's changed. And I'm sorry, when I hear that there's no distressed neighborhoods in Madison anymore, I don't look at it that way. Not when 51% of the kids in our public school system are in households who are in poverty. Not when we have this disparate impact of racial differences in terms of arrests. Not when either of any of us can walk through the halls of the big employers in Madison and see white face, white face, white face, white face, and very rarely a black or a brown or a yellow or a red face. That's the nature of Madison's economy these days. It doesn't have to be that way. It means going back to those basic points I mentioned earlier in terms of job training and development. But there's a role for government here. And those of you who've read some of the things I've written over the years know the critical part is the government's role in making investment in human capacity and in infrastructure. That is what leads to private investment, which creates jobs. It's investment in public education. It's investment in the nonprofits that work to bring households and families together to enhance them. It is the... I got a little sign up here.